So this UK rapper comes from Manchester. From what I can find on him, he's half English and half Nigerian. And in the last 5 years, his life has been a movie, to put it lightly. From allegedly shooting up an innocent person's house in revenge for his girlfriend's car getting bricked, to achieving a top 40 song on the official UK charts and also achieving a top 5 album on the official UK album charts, to catching a case in Los Angeles for having a concealed weapon in a vehicle. Today, we're going to be talking about Tunde, guys. So leave a like on the video. Thank you very much. Let's get that out of the way. So we'll start off by looking at Tunde's chart history. He had a song with Pot of Paper back in 2023 that spent 2 weeks on the charts back to back that went off. He also got his first and only top 40 song when he featured on Nines' album with Muggs. Big up to Muggs as well for getting a top 40 song as well, bro. Nines really be putting people on, bro. And this is kind of a spoiler here because you can see his song Not Guilty. You wouldn't expect somebody who's guilty to be making a song called Not Guilty. A little bit of foreshadowing there. But this isn't Tunde, because Tunde's 30 years old. So that would mean he got an album in the top 40 when he was 9 years old. That doesn't really make sense, does it? But First Lap was a crazy project. I really did enjoy this project. One of the best UK projects we've had in recent years, in my opinion. Now, admittedly, I only started listening to Tunde once he came out of prison. People seem to think you must know everything about the UK scene. You must know everything. Bro, I don't. I only knew about Rimsey when Rimsey came home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure Tunde's had quite a few songs released before this. Yeah, no, it's true. He had a song with Meek 6 years ago. So I'll be winning when I'm whipping out 2 scores. I don't want to get copyrighted by Meeks or Tunde. But this song was around the time when Meeks was blowing up. Let's just double check. Yeah, 2019. That's when Meeks started blowing up. There are rumors going around that those two have beef. Apparently they're not friends anymore. But hey, you know when you're living that lifestyle, bro, you're always going to have politics. But we can't confirm 100%. We don't know. Hopefully those two are good though, because I've always said Manchester, if they all linked up together, if everyone in Manchester linked up, it would be curtains for the scene. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you look at the talent in Manchester, bro, Bugsy Malone, 0161, you got Tunde, you got Nems, you got Meeks, you got Billy the Goat, you got H. Like, if all of these guys linked up, bro, it would be dangerous. It would be terrifying. But let's get into what you guys want to hear. So, Tunde, can't find any reports to confirm the exact date, but what we can do is kind of use his music as a cross-reference. Because when Tunde was arrested, nobody knew at the time what he was arrested for. And there was a lot of alleged corruption. There was even a protest that went on outside of a Manchester court for Tunde and the other people that were wrapped up in this case. It was a big, you know, potential scandal there. But the last song he dropped before, and it says he dropped, Spotify's a bit messed up here. It says Loafman dropped first, then Bruce Lee. Fresh Home Freestyle was what dropped first. And we're going to find the exact date this was released, but I think it was released while he was in jail. Spotify's bugging. Here, March 2021, this is when he last posted on Instagram before he posted his Fresh Home video here on the 8th of February 2023. So from what I can find, Tunde was remanded for 2 years for a gun case. It only came out a year later after he'd been remanded what he was actually being held for. And it says rapper plotted shooting in retaliation after his ex's car was bricked. Trial hears. A rapper plotted a shooting in which a gunman opened fire at a house in retaliation after his ex's car had been bricked, prosecutors alleged. Olu Tunde Finney, aka Tunde, is on trial alongside 4 other men accused of planning the shooting at a property in Morton Avenue, Burnage. Let's see where that is. So here it is, Morton Avenue, Manchester. Let's go here. Let's go into Street View. So the prosecutors are alleging that Tunde were alleging that Tunde and 4 others planned, well, they conspired to shoot up someone's house here. They say that 2 gunshots were fired at the house and they only stopped shooting because the firearm jammed. No one was hurt, with the couple who lived in the house asleep in bed. Prosecutors allege the shooting was committed in retaliation after the windows of a car belonging to Mr. Finney, Tunde's ex-girlfriend, were bricked by a group of men in Wythenshawe. This is Wythenshawe. When I was in Manny, I stayed in a hotel like right by the airport. It was this one. I stayed in the Radisson Blu hotel in Manchester because it was the only nice one, good price. I didn't realize it was in the freaking airport. You know what I mean? So the way this looks to me, it looks like they're saying Utes from Hounslow, yeah, because Heathrow is in Hounslow, bricked his ex-girlfriend's car, and in return for that, they went and shot a random guy, a random innocent couple's house 2 times and only stopped because the gun jammed. The jury heard the shooting took place about an hour later at around midnight on September 27th, 2020. It is the prosecution case that Mr. Finney, Tunde, after learning that his ex-girlfriend's vehicle had been targeted, arranged for the firearm to be retrieved and for someone to attend at Morton Avenue and discharge it towards the address. I think this is the prosecutor, and I don't want to falsely, put the wrong face to the name, but That's what's coming up. Or is it this guy? Orange County, that's America. Can't 100% confirm if this is the Jonathan Rogers that is the prosecutor in Tunde's case, but he's the first one that's coming up. Jurors were told the shooting was a case of mistaken identity and that those who lived in the house were not responsible for the damage to the car and didn't have any connection with the alleged conspirators. Tunde is on trial accused of conspiring. So yeah, this was like 2 years after it allegedly happened. So he would have been 25 when it happened. So Tunde was on trial. He was accused of possessing a firearm with intent to endanger life alongside Atiq Brown, Samuel McNair, Elias Abubakar, and Jack Derbyshire. Another 37-year-old man, Lorenzo McKenzie, was accused of storing the Glock-style gun for the men. All 6 men have pleaded not guilty. They say that Tunde's ex called him following the damage before she called the police. They say that cell site data shows that Mr. McNair and Mr. Brown were in the vicinity of Morton Avenue and that Tunde and Abubakar were nearby. Footage showed the gunman emerge from a white Audi TT before opening fire at the house. One bullet went into the ground floor, passed through a bookshelf before becoming lodged in the wall. The second hit the windowsill and the gun then appeared to jam. Prosecutors claim DNA evidence links Tunde to a bullet casing found on the ground and a live bullet which had been left at the scene after the gun jammed. Tunde denies any involvement and said his DNA could have been left on the casings through innocent transfer. Another one of the people's DNA was found on the gun. Jurors heard that Mr. Finney was stopped by police in London April last year. He told officers he was in the area to shoot a music video and that he performed under the name Tunde. He was found to have £2,000 in his pocket and £900 in a man bag, 3 Rolex watches and a replica firearm in the boot of the car he'd been traveling in. Tunde told the police the money was from his music management and represented the sales of music merchandise. Tunde does be selling his music merchandise. You can't say he doesn't do that. But the thing is, HMRC are watching your stuff, bro. Trust me. Like, trust me. People think they can just be there flexing cash on socials like it's nothing, bro. Trust me. If you're filing taxes or if you're not filing taxes, HMRC is watching you, bro. The police are watching you. I'm telling you, bro. People don't get it. Like, there's no benefits to flexing, bro. Zero benefits to flexing, bro. When you're wearing clothes that you bought 3-4 years ago, people leave you alone. If you look like money, bro, people are going to be begging friend off you. People are going to target you. In this country, there's no benefits to looking to flexing, bro. Zero. Okay, so reading this more, they had quite a lot of evidence on these guys, but they ended up beating the case. But his barrister told them that he's a musician, he features in rap videos, and another one of the people involved in the case admitted to being in possession of the firearm in August, the month before, but not at the time of the shooting, which is sketchy. He said he was in debt to his drug dealer who he looked after things for and borrowed the firearm to protect himself because he was frightened. Well played, lads. Well played. Well played. The defendants accused of the conspiracy are expected to argue that they socialized together. So the cell site data showing they were together would not be out of the ordinary. They all pleaded not guilty. Tunde denied possessing ammunition without a firearm certificate. Yeah, they all just said, we didn't do this. This was in 2022, lads. But there's a whole lot of details. There's more details about the case. On the night in question, September 27th, Tunde said he called the woman who said he had a toxic on and off relationship with for 9 years. During the call, he said she told him what had happened to the car. At the time, I didn't think much. She's from however the hell you pronounce that. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Criminal damage, cars being smashed up, that sort of thing. Yeah. These lot, yeah, man. I remember telling her she needed to phone the police, not me. She said her mum already called the police. I said, your insurance. Do you have any particular interest in guns, Tunde? Not in a serious way or real, no, but in the way of music and entertainment. Music, I listen to videos and I watch. You mean your image? My full name is Olu Babatunde Finney. Mum is white and my dad is Nigerian. So yeah, he's saying I'm not into guns. I ain't into none of that. It's all for my rapper image, you know, the rapper lifestyle.
Tunde, fresh home, check it.
But in February, Tunde was released on bail. He was released after being remanded for 2 years. They released him on bail. As you can see on the IG, Tunde was not here to play, man. Straight, got a number 18 trending. Then he dropped Loaf, man. Then he dropped, like, he was just not missing. Ended up charting with First Lap. And then the final picture in August 9th, 2023, Tunde beat his case. he officially beat the case. Not an easy thing to do, bro, but he beat the case. Tunde beat the case. Tunde has been cleared of being involved in plotting a shooting after a gunman opened fire at a house. Tunde, known by his stage name Tunde, was a rising star in the music industry and had performed with well-known musicians, including Boston-born rapper H. His DNA was found on a bullet casing and a live round discovered at the scene by police. In the aftermath of the shooting, some of Mr. Tunde's family had moved away from their homes. Prosecutors claimed it showed that Tunde was afraid the incident would become a tit for tat. But Tunde, he really played the music card, man. The more you do them kind of things, you notice the more streams you get, more followers, and more kind of buzz and talking, he said. Yeah, which is what we're doing here. Hey, my people, if you're enjoying the video, could you please give it a like? Costs nothing, takes no time. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're loving the daily uploads, just click subscribe. You know, just subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You know, you watch my videos anyway. Just click it. Thank you. Like it says on my shirt. Click it. Click it. Then he's out here pictured with Fredo. Like, this is less than a week after officially busting case. You know what I mean? It's outside. First headline show performed in November 2023. Less than 3 months after beating his case. Tunde looked unstoppable, bro. Tunde looked unstoppable at this point. And he's still going. Tunde became a little bit more inconsistent with the music, but about a year and a half ago, he dropped this song with Mozzie. Because he'd been in LA a lot. He's been in LA. You know, he started just being in LA all the time. If we look here, I think he took it down, but there was a picture of him in LA there's a picture of him just holding bare money. I can't confirm 100%, but I remember hearing that I'm not sure if he still is, but he was being managed by YBs, which would explain this when Central C linked up with Tunde, because Central C ain't just gonna link up with anyone. Love with me. Shout out my ugly bitches, they in love with me. This song is cold, bro. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, he was arrested for 4 shootings. He was wanted for 4 shootings, guys, 4 shootings. That's part of the reason why he was also remanded for so long, and they couldn't get him on that, so they tried to get him on this. Remember, it's not about whether you did it or not, it's about whether the prosecution can prove if you did it or not. And clearly they thought that this ex-girlfriend's car getting bricked retaliation thing, conspiracy, was their best chance at grabbing him, and they failed. I'm sure when police are watching this, bro, they must be burning. How can you not be burning?
Fed said I was in an Audi shooting out of sports, but
I know the police must be so angry when they see this, but what can you actually do? You have to trust due process. So things were going great for Tunde. Tunde looked unstoppable, bro. But 6 days after dropping this banger with Mozzie, he was arrested in Los Angeles for having a concealed weapon in a car. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, yes, America is gun crazy, but California, New York, these places, they have much stricter gun laws. You need to be over a certain age, you need to have a license, and he didn't have a license. You know, it's not easy to get a gun license in these places. Now, we've managed to find this website had some of the arrest records in Los Angeles, and it says Olufini, Los Angeles 30. They said he's white, he's mixed race. They just picked a race there. America, they don't care. Arrested for carrying concealed weapon in a vehicle. Yeah, they're not good, bro. You think that's giving away his address? Boulevard. Like, everything's called Boulevard out there, bro. Boulevard. This Boulevard. This Boulevard. People on UK Drill Reddit, they got some good snapshots from his story. LA County Jail, free Tunde. There, Tunde is over there. You zoom in, he's over there. Tunde there in the LA court. Must have been terrifying, dude. And this got posted on his story. LA's Superior Courthouse. Back in court today, pray for me. No publicity stunts or music videos around here, mate. I will explain the details once the case is over. With a few months ago, I went to 2 different jails and then got bail. That's all I can tell you for now. But long story short, Tunde ended up beating it. I got lawyers that are Jewish or Asian, so if I slip, call Mr. Goldstein. That's case closed. Time to get back to the music. Yeah, so Tunde had to deal with a little bit of a bump in the road in Los Angeles, getting caught with a weapon. You know, you don't know what he's getting up to in LA. Well, if I say what I'm hearing he's getting up to in LA, you're gonna call me a snitch. So make your own assumptions. But I wouldn't want to be rolling without a gun out there either, because LA is a lack. Someone who's been to LA can tell you it's a lack, bro. No matter how much bread you got, bro, it's a lack. But I'm not sure. Tunde dropped 2025 freestyle in April. That is the last piece of music he's dropped. Can't find anything else, any other arrest records in LA, so hopefully he's on his best behavior in LA, because I know getting arrested in America is not nice. I was arrested in America. I was arrested in Utah for weed possession, minor. I had a Z on me though, because I was driving through states, you know, and that was the only state where it wasn't legal while I was driving through. And when that happened, I was more scared about, oh my God, is this gonna mess up my entry to America? Am I gonna be able to apply for an E-Star again? Like, am I gonna, you know what I mean? Because America is where all the money is, bro. You don't want to to mess up your entry into America. Because if you get rejected once, you mess that up, bro. Sorting that out is a bureaucratic nightmare. But my status is all good. Apparently, it's only bad if you actually get a conviction. If they convict you, then it's long day for you, bro. Good luck trying to get back into America. Especially a guy like Tunde as well, with all of his past cases in the UK. If he got a conviction out there, bro, they would have deported him. It would be hard, near impossible for him to get back in America. Probably like a 5-10 year ban or something like that. You don't want to deal with that. But hopefully Tunde sticks to the music, you know, and keeps things halal, you know, keeps things, you know, on the right path. Tunde's at that age where it's like, bro, you're gonna want peace and quiet now, you know, and this lifestyle doesn't come with peace and quiet. But who am I? Who am I? Who the hell am I? Thank you guys for watching this video. Chung Lee, what do you actually think about Tunde? Chung Lee says Tunde is an interesting character. He needs to just oh, okay, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that, Chung Lee. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Peace and love to every single one of you. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, because I post daily and we don't have any plans of stopping. So yeah, cheers.